Artificial intelligence is not just coming for your job, it is coming for your peace of mind. While the world panics over every new automation headline, a small number of people stay completely unshaken, not because they know what is coming, because of how they have trained their minds. What if the strongest defense against high technology was not learning to code, but a discipline that is 2,000 years old? This is Digital Stoicism. First, let us be honest. The fear is not irrational, it is measured. As of early 2026, 18% of American workers believe artificial intelligence is likely to eliminate their job within 5 years. Inside companies that have already deployed AI, it climbs to 23%. In finance, nearly a third. Zoom out, and the worry is wider still. More than half of workers say they are worried about how AI will change work. A third expect fewer opportunities for people like them. And the institutions are not soothing anyone. The World Economic Forum projects 92 million roles displaced by 2030. It also projects 170 million created, a net gain. But you do not feel a net gain. You feel the displacement, because that is the part with your name on it. This is the climate, relentless, loud, and pointed straight at your sense of worth. The storm is real. Now, a Stoic would do something strange with that storm. He would refuse to panic, not by ignoring it, but by looking at it more clearly than anyone else. The Stoics called it seeing things as they are. Strip away the language designed to frighten you and look at the raw fact underneath. So look, the same researchers who measured the fear also measured the reality. Today's technology could, in theory, automate about 57% of work hours. But hours are not jobs. As the analysts themselves wrote, that does not mean half of all jobs disappear. The marketing says the future is coming for you. The mathematics says tasks will move and judgment will matter more. Those are very different sentences. The Stoic learns to hear the second one. Here is the foundation everything rests on. 2,000 years ago, a formerly enslaved teacher named Epictetus drew one line that still does more work than any productivity hack. Some things are up to us, most things are not. Up to us are our judgments, our choices, our effort, our response. Not up to us are the markets, the layoffs, the speed of the machines, the next release. Now, this is where almost everyone gets Stoicism wrong. They hear, not up to us, and think it means, does not matter. It does not. The Stoics had a precise word for things outside your control that still carry real value. Preferred. Your job is preferred. Your income is preferred. You pursue them fully. You just refuse to let your peace depend on them. That single move, pursuing the outcome while detaching your worth from it, is the whole game. The second practice is harder and more physical. Voluntary hardship. The Stoics deliberately chose discomfort, not to suffer, but to stay capable. The modern version has a name: analog deep work. Periodically, on purpose, do the thing the machine would do for you. Reason it out on paper. Write the argument without the autocomplete. Sit with a hard problem long enough to actually solve it. Because a muscle you never use is a muscle you lose. The point is not to reject the tools. The point is to make sure that when the tools are gone, you are still there. And the third, stop competing with the machine on its own terms. You will never be faster. You were never supposed to be. Speed is the machine's virtue. Yours is judgment. The slow, nuanced human work of deciding what is actually worth doing and what is right. The Stoics had an image for the mind that has done this work. Marcus Aurelius, who happened to run the largest organization on earth at the time, wrote it in a private journal he never meant for anyone to read. The mind free of passions is a fortress. There is no more secure place of refuge for a person. 18 centuries later, the scholar Pierre Hadot gave that idea its modern name: the inner citadel, a position inside you that the outside world cannot reach. Not because the walls are high, because of what you choose to keep inside them. So how do you build it? You start strangely by inviting the worst in. The Stoics practice something they call the premeditation of adversity. Today, we would call it negative visualization, a phrase the philosopher William Irvine helped popularize. The exercise is simple and uncomfortable. You picture the worst case, the role eliminated, the skill obsolete. You sit with it in full detail on purpose. Not to torture yourself, to disarm it. Seneca put it precisely. The blow of a foreseen evil comes gently. The fear you have rehearsed in daylight cannot ambush you in the dark. You have already been there. You have already survived it in your mind. And the last brick is the most important and the most countercultural. The Stoics aimed at a state they called Apatheia. Now, that does not mean apathy. It does not mean feeling nothing. It means freedom from the destructive passions, fear, panic, despair, while keeping the clear, rational feelings that actually serve you. In practice, it is one deliberate act of separation. You decouple your worth from your output. Your value as a person is not your economic utility. It never was. The market can reprice your skills overnight. It cannot touch what you decide you are. So here is where we land. You cannot control the speed of the machines. You were never meant to. You can control the one fortress the algorithm cannot reach, the position you take inside your own mind. Train the judgment the machine does not have. Rehearse the worst until it loses its grip. Pursue the work fully and refuse to let it own your peace. The future will keep shifting. Let it. Your sense of worth was never up for automation. Build the citadel, then go to work.